Hey guys, I feel a little bit silly doing this because I'm talking to a webcam now and I'm not holding anything and it feels kind of strange, but hopefully I'll get used to it soon enough. Today I'm doing a short video on process and I decided to go with Butcherbird because that's what I'm working with at the moment. Now, when it comes to processes for books, they range. There's so many different ways you can do it and sometimes every book is different. But I think Butcherbird is the book that I've been most organised with. I really wanted to write something about where I grew up, which was under the mountain in Taranaki. It's always felt like a place full of mystery to me, and I wanted to put that in a book. I was playing Minecraft with the kids and we'd found this village that was kind of set into the side of a hill, and that was really cool. And I was raiding the garden, as you do. And if you play Minecraft, you know, normally you have your garden and then you have water next to it so the dirt can get water and the plants can grow. Anyway, I was walking through the water and the wheat was quite tall beside me, and it reminded me really vividly of walking through the swamps, through the rushes on the farm when I was a kid, and how we used to tie the tops of the rushes together to make portals to other worlds, and the floating island that we used to have that just kind of seemed to move around the swamp but was more solid than the rest of it, and things like that. And I was like, oh, I want to put that in my book, and I want to put sheep skulls and eyeballs and magpies, because magpies are such a big part of country living in New Zealand. And that kind of started, and then I was like, oh, what else could I put in? So I went looking on the website called TV Tropes and kind of went through all the horror ones and decided which ones I wanted to use and which ones I wanted to subvert a little bit. And that was kind of how I planned the book. It was not so much about the characters as such. Normally it is, but this time it was kind of like, what kind of book do I want to write? And I wanted to write something suspenseful and something with elements of horror and mystery, and I wanted to write secrets, and I wanted to write, I wanted to write the farm where I kind of grew up. So that is what I set about doing, which was really, really enjoyable. I started writing Butcherbird for NaNoWriMo, which is coming up again soon, which is National Novel Writing Month in November, and it went really well, and I managed to get 50,000 words before the end of the month, which was just as well. Wasn't the end of the book, but I hit that goal, and that felt awesome. And then my nana had a stroke, and she died just at the end of November, and that really sucked because it was her farm, and I had to keep writing, and there were some scenes I had to write that were quite difficult. A death scene, and yeah, so it took me probably longer to write the last chunk of the book than it did the first chunk. And it's interesting because that's the chunk that still needs some work. I guess I'm still untangling all the issues around that. But yeah, it's kind of bittersweet in a little way because it's a love letter to the farm where I grew up, where she grew up, and she's not around anymore. So that makes it quite a personal book as well for me. But yeah, so normally once I do the first draft, I let it sit for a while. I let this one sit for longer. It had a completely different process than normal because I submitted it to Te Papatupu, which is a mentorship program, and so I sent it in without doing anything to it, and so basically first draft, and got selected, which was great, but then I kind of had to wait till that process kicked off, which wasn't until July, I think, so I don't know how many months that is. I finished it in December, Christmas Eve, I think it was, and then I didn't work on it again until July. So I wrote some other stuff in the meantime, and that was quite fun. But after that, went through this big process of editing with a mentor, which I'd never done before, and it was a really cool experience, and one I'd like to do myself on the other side to kind of help someone to work through their book and make it like that, like, just improve it from the ground up. So it became a much, much better book, and I'm really happy with it, but it still needs some work now, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. As I had a structural edit, and now I'm putting the final touches on it before I send it off again and see whether Huia want it or not. So yeah, it's a bit of a different process for me, because I got to work with someone for basically the whole time after that first draft, and that was quite challenging in some ways, because other people have different ideas about your book than you do, and it was the first time I'd had to kind of go, will this add value, or is it something I don't need to worry about? And that's been, yeah, really interesting. I think it's certainly helped me grow as a writer, and I think the whole process of that mentorship really gave me a boost, and leveled me up in a way. Yeah. So anyway, if you've got any other questions about Butcherbird, or about the process, or the mentorship program, or any of that kind of stuff, feel free to hit me up and I will do my best to answer it. Cool. Bye.